Welcome to our deep dive, everyone.
Mhm.
Today, it's all about the power of solitude.
Yeah, we're going to really get into how spending time alone can help you learn about yourself and, maybe even find some hidden creativity and really just figure out how to be happy.
It's funny, right? Like, so many people are out there searching for happiness,
Oh,
and they think it's out there somewhere, you know? Like, they need to find the right job or the right relationship or the right whatever.
right. But what if happiness isn't something you chase? It's already there inside you just waiting to be discovered.
Okay, I love that. So how do we tap into that? Where do we even begin?
It starts with self-reflection, taking
Mm.
a deep dive into who you really are beneath all those layers of expectations and, all the things society tells you should be.
So it's not just about, taking a long bath or having a quiet night in. It's
Hmm.
about really looking inward and asking some tough questions.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about peeling away those layers and asking yourself, who am I really? What truly brings me joy? And what are those things that maybe I've been ignoring or pushing down for way too long?
I think a lot of people are afraid to be alone with their own thoughts,
Yeah.
like they're running from themselves. But what if those quiet moments are actually the key to unlocking our greatest potential?
It's like imagine you're constantly surrounded by noise and then suddenly everything goes quiet. What do you hear? You hear yourself. And that's when you can really start to listen to your intuition, your dreams, your deepest desires.
So solitude becomes this space for self-discovery.
Exactly. And there's a story I think about a lot. There was this woman, Anna, and she was always surrounded by people, always seeking validation from others. But it wasn't until she was forced into a period of solitude that she finally discovered her passion for painting. It was like all that noise from the outside world was finally silenced, and she could finally hear her own inner voice.
Wow, that's amazing. So being alone gave her the space to tap into a part of herself she never even knew existed.
It's like that inner voice was always there, but it was drowned out by all the external distractions. Solitude cleared the static so she could finally hear her own melody.
So solitude isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about creating space to connect with yourself.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. And when you nurture that relationship, you become a more authentic, a more grounded, a more powerful version of yourself.
I love that.
Hmm.
But let's be real, for a lot of people, being alone can be scary.
Hmm.
We live in a culture that tells us we need to be constantly connected, constantly doing, constantly achieving. And if we're not, we're somehow failing.
Right. And that's where we need to make a distinction between solitude and loneliness. Solitude is a choice. It's about being present with yourself, enjoying your own thoughts, finding peace in your own company. Loneliness, on the other hand, is that feeling of emptiness and isolation, even when you're surrounded by others.
So it's about shifting our mindset from viewing alone time as a punishment to seeing it as a gift.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that those quiet moments are opportunities to recharge, to reflect, to reconnect with ourselves. And that's incredibly empowering.
It's funny. I was talking to a friend recently who's super successful. He's got a great career, a loving family, everything you could possibly want. But he said he still felt this emptiness, this void, like something was missing.
And what happened?
Well, he started carving out time for himself. Every morning he'd wake up early and spend an hour writing. And he said it was like this whole new world opened up to him. He reconnected with his passion for storytelling, and it brought him this incredible sense of purpose and fulfillment.
It's amazing how even those who seem to have it all can find deeper meaning through solitude.
It's like a reminder that true fulfillment comes from within. It's not about what you have or what you achieve. It's about who you are at your core.
And when you nurture that inner being, when you connect with your true self, that's when you unlock true happiness.
Okay, this is all starting to make sense. But how do we actually start incorporating more solitude into our lives? It's easy to say, spend more time alone. But how do we make it a fulfilling experience? How do we actually enjoy it?
That's where personal development comes in. Equipping yourself with the tools to thrive in solitude.
So we're talking about like pursuing hobbies, learning new skills, reading more.
Exactly. It's about engaging your mind, your spirit, exploring those things that light you up. Think about it this way. When you were a kid, you were constantly exploring, learning, trying new things. It was all about discovery and playfulness. But as we get older, we tend to lose that sense of wonder and curiosity.
We get so caught up in the responsibilities of adulting that we forget to make time for the things that bring us joy.
Right. And that's where solitude can be so powerful. It gives you the space to reconnect with that inner child, to explore your passions, to uncover hidden talents you might not even know you have.
It's like giving ourselves permission to play again.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy or complicated. It could be something as simple as picking up a paintbrush or learning a new language or spending time in nature. It's about finding those activities that make you feel alive and engaged.
I know for me, writing has always been my sanctuary. It's where I can process my thoughts, explore my emotions, and connect with my creativity. And it's something I can do completely on my own.
And that's the beauty of it, right? You don't need anyone else to validate you or tell you you're doing it right. It's just you and your passion.
And in those moments of solitude, you're not just developing a skill or pursuing a hobby, you're nurturing your inner world.
You're investing in your own growth, your own happiness, your own well-being.
So personal development becomes this essential tool for thriving in solitude.
It's like giving yourself the gift of self-discovery and self-expression.
And it's something we can all do no matter our age or background or circumstances.
Exactly. All it takes is a willingness to step into the quiet space within and explore the incredible potential that lies within each and every one of us.
But let's be honest, personal development isn't always easy. There will be challenges, doubts, maybe even some frustration along the way.
Of course. But that's part of the process, you know? It's like any worthwhile journey, there will be bumps in the road. But those bumps are opportunities for growth.
So we embrace the challenges as part of the journey.
Exactly. And you know what? When you overcome those challenges, when you push through those doubts, you come out stronger and more resilient on the other side.
It's like those challenges are actually building our inner strength.
Precisely. And that inner strength we develop in solitude spills over into every area of our lives. It makes us more capable of handling the ups and downs of life, of navigating change, of living a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
So we're building resilience, we're cultivating our passions, we're investing in our personal growth.
Yeah.
And all of this is helping us to thrive in solitude.
Exactly. And the more we invest in ourselves, the more we realize that we already have everything we need within us to be happy, to be fulfilled, to live a life of purpose and meaning.
Okay, this is all starting to click, but what about that fear of loneliness that so many people struggle with? You know, it can be a real obstacle for embracing solitude.
Absolutely. It's a valid concern, and it's something we need to address head on. You know, what if instead of seeing loneliness as a weakness, we saw it as a teacher?
What do you mean?
Well, loneliness can be a signal that we need to connect more deeply with ourselves. It's a reminder to cultivate self-compassion, to understand our own needs, and to give ourselves the love and attention we deserve.
It's like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. We need to fill our own cup with self-love and acceptance before we can truly connect with others.
And solitude gives us the space to do that, to refill our cup, to nourish our soul, to reconnect with our true selves.
So it's not about avoiding loneliness, but
Right.
about understanding what it's trying to tell us.
Exactly. And, you know, history's full of brilliant minds who thrived in solitude. Artists, writers, inventors, their breakthroughs often came during periods of deep introspection and contemplation.
You're right. Think about all the incredible works of art, literature, music that were born out of solitude. It's like stepping away from the constant stimulation of the outside world allows our minds to wander, to explore, to make new connections.
And to tap into a deeper level of creativity and innovation.
It's like solitude becomes this breeding ground for new ideas, new perspectives, new ways of seeing the world.
It's a space where we can challenge the status quo, question our assumptions, and come up with solutions that might not have been possible if we were constantly surrounded by noise and distractions.
So solitude isn't just about recharging and reflecting. It can actually be a catalyst for positive change in the world.
Absolutely. And it all starts with a willingness to embrace the quiet space within and listen to the whispers of our own heart.
So instead of fearing loneliness, maybe we should view it as an invitation to explore the depths of our own being
To discover the hidden treasures that lie within.
and to connect with that inner spark that makes us unique and extraordinary.
Precisely. Because when we embrace solitude, we're not just embracing ourselves, we're embracing the infinite possibilities that lie within.
And that is truly powerful. Okay, so we've talked about the benefits of solitude, the importance of personal development, the difference between solitude and loneliness, and how to overcome the fear of being alone. But let's be real. Not everyone can just become a hermit and live in complete isolation, right?
Right. We are social creatures, after all. We crave connection, belonging, shared experiences.
So how do we balance the need for solitude with the need for connection?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll dive into more deeply in the next part of our deep dive, so stay tuned. It's all about finding that sweet spot, you know,
Yeah.
that balance between enjoying our own company and nurturing those relationships that bring richness and meaning to our lives.
Like a dance, right? between independence and interdependence.
Exactly. We need both to truly thrive. And it's interesting. The quality of our relationships often mirrors the quality of our relationship with ourselves.
Ooh, that's deep. So you're saying if we're at peace with who we are, if we genuinely enjoy our own company, we bring that same sense of self-assurance and authenticity to our relationships with others.
Think about it. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you don't need to seek validation from others or try to fill a void within yourself. You're coming from a place of wholeness.
Because you already feel whole and complete within yourself.
Exactly. And that makes your connections with others so much more genuine and fulfilling.
It's like solitude empowers us to build stronger, more meaningful relationships because we're approaching them from a place of self-awareness and self-love.
And that, I believe, is the essence of truly living a balanced and joyful life. It's about embracing both the quiet moments of introspection and the vibrant connections we share with others.
It's a beautiful tapestry woven from the threads of solitude and connection.
Precisely. And when we embrace both, we unlock a deeper level of fulfillment and joy.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. We've explored so many facets of solitude, from its power to spark self-discovery and creativity to its role in fostering resilience and strengthening relationships. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. The idea that seeking happiness solely from external sources might be a sign that we haven't fully explored the richness within ourselves.
That's such a profound thought, and it's at the heart of this entire conversation. If we're constantly seeking validation, distraction, or fulfillment from outside ourselves, it's a sign that we might be neglecting our inner world, that incredible wellspring of potential within each of us.
It's like we're looking for our missing piece in all the wrong places when it's been right here inside us all along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The truth is that missing piece is already within you. You just need to create the space and cultivate the mindset to discover it. And that's where solitude comes in.
It's that quiet space where we can connect with our true selves without the noise and distractions of the external world.
It's like hitting the pause button on life's constant demands and giving yourself permission to simply be.
To breathe, to reflect, to dream, to reconnect with our passions, and to rediscover that inner spark that makes us unique.
And when you do that, when you nurture that connection with yourself, everything else falls into place.
Our relationships become more authentic, our work becomes more meaningful, and we start to experience a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. It's like we're finally living in alignment with our true selves.
Exactly. So how can our listeners start incorporating more solitude into their lives in a way that feels empowering and fulfilling?
That's a great question. For those of you who are ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery, what are some practical steps you can take?
Well, it all starts with making a conscious decision to prioritize solitude. Actually scheduling it into your day.
Yeah, like actually putting it on your calendar.
Exactly. Even if it's just for 15 minutes, treat it like an important appointment.
An appointment with yourself.
Right. And during that time, disconnect from all distractions. Put your phone away, step away from social media, turn off the news.
Create a sacred space just for you.
And don't be afraid to experiment. Find what works for you.
Some people might love to meditate or do some journaling.
Yeah.
Get lost in their thoughts.
Others might find peace in nature or get creative with art or music.
It's about finding what resonates with you, what helps you feel most connected to yourself.
And you know what? It's okay if it feels a little awkward or uncomfortable at first.
Yeah, we're so used to being constantly stimulated.
It takes time to adjust to the quiet, to the stillness.
So stick with it.
The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become, and the rewards are truly immeasurable.
Because when we embrace solitude, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities.
We discover hidden talents, nurture our creativity, strengthen our resilience, and deepen our self-awareness.
And ultimately, we create a life that feels more authentic, more meaningful, and more joyful.
It's not about escaping the world. It's about empowering yourself to live more fully within it.
And that's a journey we can all take.
No matter who we are or where we come from.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the power of solitude, I want to leave you with this thought.
What if the key to unlocking a truly fulfilling and joyful life lies not in chasing external pleasures, but in cultivating a deep and loving relationship with yourself?
And that relationship, my friends, begins in the quiet moments of solitude.
So embrace the stillness, explore the depths of your being, and discover the incredible power that lies within.
Because when you find happiness in your own company, the whole world becomes a brighter place. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the power of solitude. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Leave a comment below and let us know what other topics you'd like us to explore. Until next time, keep daring to dream, keep committing to action, and keep embracing the extraordinary power of solitude.